Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. Guys, today I want to get back to work over here on the Crescent double disc sander. Since we had our last little video on this, I did come in and get my electrical stuff installed on that. I'm going to show you that here in just a minute. We've got the control box, the start button up here that'll start and stop. We've got the magnetic starter installed, and I got a little bit of work to do on that. We're going to get started on that here in just a little bit and hopefully get this thing where we can actually fire up and run it. I've also got my tags in that Tom Utley over at Von Industrial was doing, the Reproduction tags, and there's a few other little just things I want to do to just kind of finish this thing up and get it ready. I say finish it up. We're not going to get the tables finished in this video. I've still got to get those. It's going to take a little while. I got some repair work to do those before we can get those on here, but we will be getting that soon as well and get this machine where we can start using it in the shop. So let's kind of pick up where we left off on the last video and take a look at the electrical work on here. Well, it won't look like it in the video, but it's actually been a couple of months that this thing has been sitting waiting on me to get some time to kind of get back onto it and finish some things up. But I do want to get back in here and get this thing finished up. So I got my new heaters for the motor starter that will be rated for the right amperage. These are basically new old stock. I don't think that they make these heaters anymore, but you can find them. And I found these on eBay, and they're brand spanking new in the box. And I don't know, they may still make them, but I don't think they do. I think this style of starter has just gotten kind of old and outdated. So anyway, the starters or the heaters that are in here are for something really light duty. I mean, I think these were rated for like an amp. Whereas what I've got up here is pretty much maxing out. This starter will handle up to 18 amps, and I'm pretty much right there at that. So I got to change these out and put in the proper heaters. And again, I think we talked about this before. It's been so long ago since I recorded the other stuff. I don't remember what we talked about, but these are for protection. You know, your motor is going to be rated for so many amps, and we need a heater that is rated for the amperage that your motor's actually drawing. So again, these are kind of like a circuit breaker. They're going to trip out when it reaches a certain amperage. Normally, you know, let's just say it will. I'm probably going to run this on a 20 amp circuit, so my circuit breaker will trip at 20 amps. But if my motor is only designed for 2 amps, you know, if I run 20 amps before the circuit breaker trips out, I've already burned my motor up. So these basically will trip out the motor starter based on the amperage of your motor. And you can get these in a whole different sets of sizes based on how many amps. And there's some charts you can look them up in and pick out the ones you need. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get these changed out. Alright, that's the last one going in here. Alright, this is the last one. This particular motor starter only has 2 heaters, so it's got heaters on 2 of the 3 legs. Some of them will have 3 heaters, 1 for each of the 3 legs. It just depends on the style starter you have. So I can move over just a little bit. Go. All right, I'm going to shut this up. I'm going to plug it up, and I want to make sure everything is working as it should. So we'll button this up and try that out. All right, I think it's ready to roll. Let's try it out. should be able to push the button and start it up to see how it goes. I haven't actually ran this. This is the first time. Good. Seems like it was took a little bit of work there to get started. Got a lot of mass in these discs. Once those things get spinning, with some typical force in them, we'll probably keep it running for a minute or so, and then just wind down here. So that seems like it's working fine. Really well. All right. Check that off the list. Let's go to the next thing on here. I got some new machine tags that I have made. I want to get those put on. So these are the tags that I had redone. I got the original tags as well as the new reproduction tags that I had made. I pulled all the old tags off, and yeah, I mean, I probably could have reused the originals, cleaned them up a little bit, but some of them were in kind of bad shape. And I just decided to go ahead and get new tags made. So to do that, I sent my tags to Tom Utley over at Von Industrial, V-O-N, Von Industrial. And Tom, he basically takes these tags, he scans them in, redigitizes them in his software, and then he can make new tags using a fiber laser that he has that can etch them. He powder coats the fill-in color and stuff on them. And he's really got his technique down and does an absolutely magnificent job doing these reproduction tags. And anyway, I just went ahead and decided to go that route, and I'm glad I did. It just really makes a restoration pop. You know, you go to all the trouble to restore one of these machines and then put an old beat up nasty tag back on it. It just doesn't really do it justice, in my opinion. So Tom can make these tags pretty much just like the originals. He even went to the point of the serial numbers and the information that's stamped on here. I mean, if you look, the stamps that he did, he copied the exact orientation of the stamps that were on there. So, you know, a lot of times those are hand stamped. Sometimes he will hand stamp them, but in most cases, if he's going to use the exact same font that the original was based on the stamp that they used, and they're just going to be exactly like the originals. Really nice stuff. So let's go see if we can put some of these back on the machine. Let's start with our tag that goes on the motor. These will fit right up here. I'm using drive screws. These little screws kind of press in. They got a little hole in the bottom that kind of starts in the hole, and it's a little bit larger, and they kind of twist in. You drive them in with a hammer or something. They're kind of one way. They really don't come out very easily, but they hold in really well. So I'm just going to kind of tap that in. And I'm going to leave it a little bit loose right now until I get them all put in, and then we'll drive them down tight. Now I'm going to drive them all home real good. And that new tag is on there and looks good. Next tag I want to put on here is the tag from the defense plant that this machine was originally sold to. And this actually went to the Beechcraft plant in Wichita, Kansas, was where it was originally sold to. You see beach right there on the tag. These holes aren't lining up just exactly right. I think that the problem is that the original tags were drilled in place and they weren't exactly lined up, and when Tom made these, they were done on a spacing, and of course the tags were a little bit mangled and bent, so it probably was a little bit difficult to get them exactly right. That drive screw went in way too easy, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually drill these out a size oversize. We'll go up one size in the drive pin, which will make them a little bit tighter and also kind of help get my holes lined up. They're all close, but they're not just exactly where they need to be. But I think if we go up a size in drive pin, we can fix that problem. All right, up next we have the Crescent tag. This is the serial number tag. It should drive in right there. All right, that one's in. There we go. That one is installed. Now I'm going to have to drill holes for this tag. It was actually originally on the other side of the machine, and I covered that area up with my electrical box. So we're just going to put it right here, I think. So let me just go ahead and I'm just going to get the first hole started. Let's get our pin started here in the tag. There we go. Nice brand spanking new machinery tags on this machine to kind of make it stand out. Again, the plant tag, Beechcraft Factory in Wichita, Kansas, where this was used during World War II to build aircraft. The Crescent Machine Company serial number tag, and the English Brothers dealer tag, where they actually purchased the machine from, and it has a serial number on it as well. I think that looks great. So the last thing I want to do here, I think, on this before we kind of move on, is I want to highlight these letters down here on the casting. I think it just looks nice when this is done. And to do this, I'm just going to use a paint pen. I've got some silver paint here. I'm going to try the silver. I want to see how it stands out. I may go to gold, but I think this is going to work. These little paint pens are really nice for highlighting letters. I have done this with a paintbrush many times, but this is much easier. So let me get in here and do these, and I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like. And there we go. That was very easy to do with the paint pen as compared to the old paintbrush method. Well, there we go. We are making good progress on this machine. This has been somewhat of a back burner project for me. Like I said, it's actually set for a couple of months between when I started this video and when I finished it. And we've still got more work to do to it. So while I got the main castings here done, we got the electrical done, there are some tables that fit on here, and there's some repair work that I'm going to have to do to those. And I'm just going to work it in as I have time. I got other more pressing jobs in the shop right now. As I think I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I've had this machine for a really long time, and I really want to get it where I can use it, but it's not one of these super high priority things that I've got to have it for a job, which seems to be what makes me get machines restored more often than anything else, is that I've got a machine sitting there, it's been sitting there for a while, but now I need it for a job. I got to work on it so that I can use it. While this would be extremely handy for lots of things in the shop, it's not something that I've just got to have right now. So we'll get to it. We'll get to it hopefully soon and finally have this thing done, but really happy with how it's turned out so far. So with that, guys, that is a wrap. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave those thumbs up and comments. Those really help out with the algorithms on YouTube, help my site to be found and discovered by other people. And big, huge thank you to those who support the site financially through Patreon, PayPal, and YouTube memberships, all of which are great ways to help support mine or any other YouTube channel to kind of just go above and beyond. If you feel like you're getting good value from a channel, consider helping them out, because it really does make a difference. And with that, guys, we're going to get out of here. We'll catch you on the next video. As always, thanks for watching.